welcoming the beautiful Sheona Severson.
That's not even close to my last name, but okay.
How do you say it?
Severson?
Severson.
I was just like,
Awkward moment.
It's not, because I've known you for so many years, and actually, I know.
No, it's awesome because Miss TT just makes up people's names, forgets
I know.
things.
I have my own language.
Am I getting a nickname? Because that's fun. Like,
I like Severn.
What about
okay.
Shishi?
Sheesh.
you know what? That is not the first time I have been called that.
Who has told you that?
Oh, when I was little.
What?
It was Sheona. It was such a different name, so everyone would make up names. And like She-Ra was a big one, because of course I'm a child of the 80s, so that came up a lot. But yeah.
She-Ra's like
I know.
badass.
That's fierce.
You know.
It
It's
is.
fitting.
I was like, where's my like tiger and castle? Sign me up.
Oh, I love it. So we are so excited to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Because you know what? We were talking all about you last week.
I heard.
And now we have her here. Like, come on. How is that manifestation? Like, we talked about her and she's here.
It's what I do.
Next level. So you guys, Sheona is a starseed, medium, expanded Reiki Master and teacher. And she helps connect to your soul, release all conditioning, heal your body, and love your life.
I just got goosebumps when you read that back to me. That sounds fun.
That's
like it.
fierce. It's because you are fierce, girl.
Thanks.
We love you.
I think so.
I think it's cool to hear other people's perspective of you.
Yeah, right? And that's what it was. Like hearing those words, although they're a combination of things I've put out there, hearing them in your tones, I was like, ooh, that's taking it in a whole nother level.
Oh,
awesome.
Yeah.
Fierce.
Oh, yeah. Warrior fighter.
Look
woman.
at Kristen's shirt. Like,
Cute.
love it.
Love it.
Where'd you get that?
H&M.
Oh my gosh, of course you did.
I love H&M. I get things at H&M all the time, and everyone's always like, oh my gosh, I love it. And I'm like, H&M, $14.99.
Can't beat that.
So, back to Sheona.
Yes.
So Sheona and Tiffany went to your circle. Well,
Yes. Yeah, I
Sheona's
held a
circle
circle last night, which was Sunday. It's the first one that I had held on my own. So I've been a part of other people's. I've done them with other people, but this time it was like, okay, I'm gonna put me out there and just see what happens and take that next leap. And yeah, it was amazing. It was
That's
really
so cool.
I
And
believe in you, girl.
Oh, totally. And the fact that she just said leap, that was actually the card that we pulled on last week's episode.
Oh, that's too
Take the
funny.
leap of faith and just trust. Jump, the universe will catch you.
Yeah.
I love that.
And that was part of
conversations.
we did last night. We did a 12-card spread, and one of the cards that we pulled was leap. And it's like, where are you ready to leap? What's going on in your life? Where haven't you leapt before? And where can you leap that you know that the universe will support you, or that your higher self, or whatever you want to say?
Totally. And sometimes I even feel that even if you don't know where you're going and you don't know if there's support over there, when you just do it, it's there. Trust me.
It's so true. It's just about taking that next step.
It is.
It's not like, oh, I need to go from here to there. Well, a lot of the times the universe is like, well, there's a lot of pathways, so just look at the next one right in front of you and just keep going with that.
One step in front of the other.
Yeah.
Love it. So, what do you do? Like, tell us about yourself.
You just told me everything I did.
What? Okay.
On top of that, quantum healing has been a new one for me, so that's been fun. So I'm taking a program called Decodes. This is not my program. This is Caitlin Diana, who is an incredible human soul, all of the things. And it's just working with everybody's all layers and levels. So you focus on everything from the physical body to the emotional, to the mental, to the spiritual, to your morphogenetic field that comes in, and how is it flowing? Is it flowing all the way in? We'll go into the Akashic records, and is there something that is holding you there that you're experiencing now? Because our record, we just did this earlier today.
We had a session earlier.
So like we store all kinds of stuff in our records, so we live them now.
Can we go back a sec?
Yeah,
let's just quickly touch on Akashic records.
Okay.
For our amazing viewers and listeners, so they know what that is.
Yeah. Okay. So the Akashic records are a record of anything that we have done or experienced this life or previous where we've had a really significant charge to it. So we may have had an emotional charge to it. We may have had a physical charge to it. And so when we make those things mean something, we lay down what's called an Akashic record. And we can replay those in different ways in our life, which is when we get into the loop, when we keep seeing it come up again and come up again and come up again. So it's a bit of, sometimes it's a bit of the deja vu. Sometimes it's a bit of the unexplained, this keeps happening in my life and I can't seem to break the pattern.
Yeah.
Chances are it's an Akashic loop.
Totally.
Yeah, so it's getting into those records and learning how to collapse them so that you're able to move forward from it.
And I feel like those loops and those times when you're so frustrated from reliving the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Yeah. The only way out is in. So you have to acknowledge it and you got to do something different. And I reach out to you and figure it out.
Yeah, for sure.
Figure out what is that loop and why does it keep happening? It's not going anywhere.
No.
You're just going to keep reliving it until you die, and then you're like, damn, I forgot all about that. I was supposed to heal that, and I'm coming back again to do the same thing over again.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Or the same thing in the same lifetime.
Oh, all the time.
Right?
Happens.
These.
Always.
It's like a broken record.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people that pick the same partner over and over again.
Yeah.
Or the same type of partner over and over again. Or end up in the same career over and over again, and that they know that they don't resonate with it or it doesn't make them happy, and they've done a lot of the counseling and the other work that can be super helpful. It's very complimentary.
Yes.
I'm not saying this is the one will and way.
No, there isn't for anything. If you're doing any healing, you need to be grasping a few tools, a few handful, at least not 2 handfuls worth of tools. It just you can't just do one.
Yeah.
You can't I don't want to give too many examples because I don't want to get too deep in that rabbit hole, but
yeah. It's good to reach out for support. And I also believe that when you're ready for your next step, that healer will show up. And it was even in my journey, I going back, Sheona went to Westview with Tiffany. I also went to Westview, which is also
crazy,
amazing, because it's
crazy. I love it.
We all were okay, we're gonna pick we're all starseeds, gonna all pick Maple Ridge. We're all gonna
this tiny little
evolve
town
differently, and then come from the same school, and then end up here. So anyhow, don't know what I was gonna say.
So when you're ready, the healer comes.
Oh yes, exactly.
The
so it's I hadn't seen you. I'm sure we've crossed paths from elementary.
I didn't remember.
Yeah, from high school. I don't remember either.
Okay, thank goodness.
But
that would have been more awkward.
We would have been graduated before you had started.
Oh,
that would have been why.
That would have been why.
So basically, what I was saying is, you came into my life. I came into your life at the perfect timing when I was ready and willing to hear what you got to throw down, because I was just my mind was expanded. It was psh. I have done all the angel realm, healing with the angels and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden Sheona comes in and it's oh my god, okay, we're talking dimensions, we're talking beings, we're talking this and that, and I'm just okay, hold on to my seat.
Buckle up, here we go.
Okay, this is and it was sitting with us, and we're this makes sense.
Yeah.
So
we totally resonate with it. And that's why we keep diving a bit deeper and learning to learn.
And the same thing for me. That's why I keep going. That's why I keep, I don't want to stop ever.
Well, that's what I love about you. How much learning, how much of a student you are, for how much of a teacher you are. Totally. It's amazing. I love that you keep upping your game and your knowledge and being taught by your mentors and just always staying in the loop, and that's awesome.
Totally.
Yeah.
So, okay, Akashic Records, now we know what that is. So we're going back to quantum
healing. Yeah. So again, that decodes program, we deal with, although it's a program and one modality, it encompasses so much. So you were saying, you always want to have a whole bunch of tools. It isn't just and I'm going to use this example because I do Reiki, I teach Reiki, I love Reiki, but it is not the only thing.
Yes.
And it can't, I'm going to say it can't be the only thing.
Love it.
Well, how many things
Counseling
would you say?
can't be the only thing.
No. How many things do you think that we would have touched on in our session today? If you were to break it up.
Oh my God.
What do you think that we did?
What did we do? Okay, so we did emotional releases, we did Akashic work, we collapsed records, we brought forward more of your authentic self, we had another level of soul step forward. We were running code lines, so adjusting your physical body to meet what you were doing spiritually.
And
Reiki.
Reiki.
And Reiki, yeah, we were doing Reiki because I was doing some of that energy work too, in that manner.
Yep.
Yeah.
How do you?
And meditation.
How do you feel, TT?
Oh, I always feel uplifted and amazing. We had a few aha moments, and I got really emotional at one point, just in the realization of like the path that I'm on. Like,
Love it.
Oh my God, it was very powerful. Very powerful.
Cool.
And it was so cool to be able to come into the session after the circle last night.
Because that already surfaced a lot.
Yeah. So based off of a lot of like my cards that showed up for me was just to help me uncover what was really stopping me leading my pure highest.
Is there anything that you'd share with that? Anything you'd like to?
Well, yeah. Let me think here. You know what? If I was to narrow it down, because it's a big concept.
It's heavy.
Is in order for me to do what I need to do, I needed to up my game and my the way I see myself.
Yeah, self-love.
Yes, because I never saw myself the way others saw me, ever. And I was purely, this whole time, I faked it. This whole time, I was leading with just my intuition.
Wow.
And not even fucking believing I could do it.
Wow.
So
that's powerful in itself, though, too. Like, just taking it, that leap of faith, and just trusting it, even if you didn't
even if it doesn't make sense, even if I can't resonate with it, even if I now know what a resistance feels like.
Wow.
There are powerful TED Talks. You know, there is different beliefs on like fake it till you make it, and I've heard from a few of my mentors on both sides, and I lived that. I lived it. I faked it. It was like I had to though. Otherwise, I was going to explode. Yeah. I had to do the things, even though I didn't know why I was doing them, but I had this desire to do them.
Yeah, and that's a lot. That's like pretty heavy to like live your life on that mode.
And the whole time, my self-worth was like on the lower end scale things. Yeah. So,
well, congratulations.
Well, thank you.
Doing the work, girl.
No fucks given here.
Yeah.
No, and I think for you too, like another big piece was just giving yourself the appreciation for the work you've done.
Right.
And seeing how much of an effect that you do have as it ripples out.
Thank you. Yes.
Because you weren't giving yourself that appreciation, that acknowledgement of, yes, I do all the work that I'm doing for me and for my tribe and my family, but the ripples of it go out so much further.
Yeah.
So much further.
It's like you're the catalyst, you're the chosen one, you're the one that chose to like actually face all the karmic patterns, the past for your ancestors. Like that's huge.
Huge.
That's huge.
Oh yeah, that's what else we did was ancestor work.
That's right. we did do
powerful. That's awesome. And it's awesome because my dad's going tomorrow to see you.
I'm
and
so
really
excited.
And I will be like shortly after. I'm very excited to just get blasted open. Even further.
And let's not forget to mention that Sheona also has a podcast.
I do Conversations with a Starseed. So you can find that on Spotify, I think it's on, and Apple Podcasts. And
I'm so proud of you for doing
on
that.
my website.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, because anybody that hasn't put on a podcast, it's terrifying.
It really is. It really is. And I mean, especially when like there's me just sitting in my house by myself and I'm like, I don't get a sounding board. Like this is a whole lot easier.
I hear you,
Whereas
girl.
I'm just like sitting there talking into my microphone. I'm like, well, I hope this resonates.
I know.
It's just me.
Send it out.
Just by myself.
And but that's going with the feeling of like that desire, that your intuition's like, you need to do this.
Yeah.
Your subconscious going, hello, you need to do this. And you're like, fuck, I don't know what this means, but okay.
I don't know what I'm going to talk about, but sure.
We got this.
And that's why, like, mine's really sporadic. I think I only have 3 or 4 episodes at this time.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things that I have to be like, okay, what is needed? And then suddenly I'll be like, okay, that's where I go. And
it's
an
amazing tool. And I think it's perfect with what you're doing. Stevie also has a podcast.
Yeah.
You know, like we're putting out all this work and it's very, very powerful. So always, you know, dive in deep with who we're following, who we have on the show. Check them out. Check out Sheona's podcast. It's amazing. Yeah. She does amazing work and all the things. So we still have so much to talk about.
Yeah. So
can this be like a Joe Rogan 3 hour? Like we can go there.
we can do anything that we want.
I'm just kidding. Nobody wants to hear me talk for 3 hours. I don't want to hear me talk for 3 hours.
Of course people do. You know what? Hey, have more credit in yourself.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I just like
it's
called
true.
It.
Yeah.
Fair enough. No, that's all right. I'll take it.
Yeah. So
if y'all want to listen, I'll talk.
So let's break down Starseed. Like this goes back to, I think maybe if we touch on a little bit of finding yourself and like how did you know? Like where did it all come from?
The Starseed.
Who are you? What are you? Just kidding.
I love the things. I don't know, and I'm still discovering more layers and levels to myself. So how much fun. Like why I don't want to stop discovering it. I don't want to stop pushing my limits. Okay, so if we want to talk specifically about Starseed, I'm actually going to go back even a little bit further to the comment of like when you're ready, the teacher appears kind of thing. I was in a time where I was in a very challenging relationship. Wasn't going well for either one of us. I had a friend that I didn't know that was a Reiki Master. She's like, you need to come for a session. I'm like, sure. I've been, I've played with tarot cards and all this for the majority of my life anyway. So I went, and she broke me wide open, and it was the most lovely feeling. And I remember getting back in my car and sitting there, and I'm like, I just had a total reset. This is how I'm supposed to feel.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
I was
cool.
just like,
I just got goosebumps.
Holy crap. Like, I'm like, this is giving me a moment of, this is actually closer to your natural state. So anything that's not aligning here, get going.
No kidding.
Show at the door. And it started shifting my life in a huge way. And as I started shifting, she's like, do you want to learn this? Yes. Like, I don't think she got the full sentence out, and I was like, I'm on board. I did my level 1 right away. It was fantastic. Like, oh, you guys know, you just, you've taken Reiki. So it really is a new perspective on everything that you do, think, feel, understand. So that was a lot of fun. And then I got in to take my 2nd level, and it was a different group that I was with my 2nd level. And again, another really super great experience. Was it my 2nd or my 3rd? I think it was my 2nd level. My teacher actually dropped that into me. It's my 2nd or 3rd level. Anyways, so she dropped in the term starseed. It was very like, well, you're a starseed. That's why you're having difficulty with some of this human stuff. And I'm like, what?
You're like,
who?
Excuse me?
I'm like, what does that even mean? And she's like, she literally put me on timeout. Like, she's like, okay, I need you to go sit over there.
Oh my God.
And just have a little meditation. And I need you to start integrating. I need you to start downloading. I need you to have those conversations with your higher self or anyone else that wants to step forward that's ready to have that conversation and take it in. And I was like, okay. So I sulked off to the corner and I sat down, and it's like it's getting downloads still. Like, they happen, and I know something's shifted, but I don't know exactly what it was. So I just knew that things started to make more sense with that term in my vocabulary and in my system. I was like, okay, so what does it actually mean? Well, that kind of dropped off for me, and little pieces would come up here and there. And then I think it was, I can't even remember when, within the last few years anyways, it really came to the forefront. And I can't even tell you how anymore. I think I started to see the term more. It started to come up more mainstream. And so I began to be like, okay, so there's something here I need to learn about. So I started looking up. I started trying to find good sources of information, which is a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
But then what I learned through all of that, and where I sort of, I don't want to say stand on it, but my current understanding and perspective is just that my soul didn't start here on earth. My soul started in, to sound kind of corny, a galaxy far, far away.
I love it.
Which is where the term sort of starseed comes from, right? So from the stars and seeded here.
Ooh.
So yeah, that's sort of where that term comes from. Yeah, it definitely gave me a perspective as to how I was having trouble with some things, like humaning. I was like, what? This is just way more difficult than it feels like it should be. Mm-hmm. I didn't understand why people did things. I couldn't grasp it. It was so, I couldn't connect with people. I much rather, sit out and lay under the stars and I could breathe again. I'm like, I'm just so much more connected to that than I am to what's going on here. Mm-hmm. Fast forward several years later, you come to the realization that I chose to be here. I chose to be here and now, and in this form, in this body, in this lifetime. So buckle up. It was pull your shit together, and then it was, okay, why am I here? What can I do? What's my journey, my purpose, my mission? Mm-hmm. And I can say fully that right now I don't have all the answers to all those questions. But again, I just keep taking one step forward.
Mm. And that's all it takes.
Yeah. That's all it takes. I know I'm here to help. I know I have these healing abilities that I'm learning about and teaching others about, and working with people through any of their things to help them move forward into whatever they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
But bigger than that, and they kind of go, shh, not yet. I'm like, okay, just got to keep trusting.
Yeah, you signed up for some really big things, and you're going through a lot of things, and it's pretty. You're just handling it like a champ. You're just amazing. You're handling it like a starseed, not like a champ.
Well, people will sit and they'll ask, like, how do you get from where you are, and people see that as such a long, ungraspable task.
Yeah.
Even though it's possible, and it's your story, and your story is your story, but it really starts with one foot in front of the other, and staying consistent with that. Yeah. And when you stop being consistent in the line of growth, you stop learning. And we all do that, like you said. You took breaks. You're like,
yeah, for sure. And some of it was that I needed the integration time.
Yes.
I had to let myself catch up.
And making these transitions, it's amazing how long it can take us.
Mm-hmm. It can. I mean, time's a human thing, right? Like, it can take a second.
I love that you just said
I can pull things out of you in a minute.
Yeah.
And then you can reinstall them if you'd like. And, so it's one of those things. It takes as long as it takes. But take the time it takes to take the time. Like, it just, as weird as that sounds, I know, right? I don't even think I got it right that time. But, if you're just trying to bypass it to just jump ahead.
Oh, the universe won't let you.
Well, you won't let you. I don't even think it's the universe. I think it's your higher self. It's like, look, bitch, you need that piece.
You missed that step, girl.
You missed that step.
Like, I need you to bring that piece up. So I'm either going to put it in front of you again, or I'm going to just, you need to just slow down for a little bit.
It's like what you're saying right now resonates big time for me. Because I was like, everything's good. I'm just going to keep going. Yay. Everything's awesome. Then all of a sudden it was like, fuck. I got to go back there and deal with that. I was like, shit.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
What you said was perfect. I'm like, fuck. Damn.
Well, right awesome. When you think you're figuring it out, yes, the carpet can be pulled from underneath you. 100%.
Another layer.
But it's always for you. It's always for what you want and your best and highest good, if you want to say it that way, or what you need to go forward. Like, it's never that anyone's out to get you.
Nope.
Or to cause you pain or anguish or discomfort.
Mm-hmm. I find like a lot of people end up, myself included, in the past, would just end up in victim mode because that's what you know.
Yeah.
That's hugely. Where you're like, oh, well, if I'm just a victim, I can blame everything on everyone else and sit back and not claim ownership and go, well, it's not me, so.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Oh, like, they did this to me, or I was brought up that way, or 100%. Exactly.
Like, weren't you there?
Yeah. Did you take part in it?
And that's always where, like, I would say to anybody listening, it's like the first place that you need to go on your healing journey is ownership, and then going, oh, I chose all of this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the hugest, like some of the hugest things for me, and I don't even know, morals, I guess, that I live by, is taking radical responsibility.
Love it.
And that is in all areas of my life. So that's in my energy field, that's in my daily life, that's in how I operate. It's in all layers and levels. My emotions are my responsibility.
Love it.
So it is, bless you, taking radical responsibility of all areas. I don't let myself, there's no excuse. There's no wiggle room there. And to me, that's for me living in integrity.
Love it.
And that's more so, some of that true starseed nature. And I don't want to say starseed as a blanket, but clearly the collective, the area that I was a part of before coming here, that was something that was very important because it's something that has resonated so strongly with me my entire life. And always feeling like I keep getting let down by everybody. And it's like, well, maybe their integrity is different than yours. And what makes yours right or better than theirs? And it's like, shit. Okay, yeah, great.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Bam.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Well, that's where all clearing the weeds comes into, and the counseling and the, bringing responsibility to these areas, seeing what these are, what does it mean? Break that apart a little bit. Because as you said earlier, when we first started, it's about learning these lessons so that we can move forward and teach that, and so that we can expand our knowledge, so we're not hung up on these little things that are holding us back.
And they can be the stupidest things. Like,
so dumb.
So dumb. Like
You want to talk about things I've found in the Akashic Records? Like some of the vows and oaths and
tell us something.
Contracts that we made. Oh my God. Okay, so even in my own, and I'll just use mine because, again, integrity for me.
Yeah.
I had made a vow not to experience wealth again.
Oh.
I was like, why?
You're like,
why you do that?
Why?
But when I was able to go in that record and find out when and why I did that, it made a whole lot of sense because I was criticized for having too much. And so I was like, I was ostracized. I was criticized. I was experiencing a lot of that anger towards me. And I was like, I don't ever want to experience this again.
Oh, because you just didn't want that hate or that judgment.
Yeah. So I was like, I don't want to be wealthy ever again.
So you had to go and...
I was like, whoa. That may have been good for me that time. It's not working so much now.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay.
Good for you.
Interesting. Yeah, let's collapse. Let's just, uncreate and destroy all of that.
And since then, you've done that. What has happened?
Oh my gosh, huge leaps.
Right?
And not
so
only,
awesome.
And in my creativity, which has allowed more of that money to come in for me.
Your platforms and your website and everything, like, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it flows and it's easy to navigate.
Oh, good.
Yes.
I have changed it probably about 5 to 8 times.
And that's fine.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
totally
As I've grown,
fine.
it's shifted.
Yeah, because it's evolving. And if you're not evolving, you're standing still, and standing still is probably the most detrimental thing that we can really do to ourselves. It's important to up that bar for ourselves.
Yeah.
Well, you may as well just...
Or else I'd just be sitting here with a pager still and hoping somebody would be able to get a
roll
hold
of quarters and trying to find payphones everywhere.
I'd be like, dude, you guys, I can't get hold of anybody. My pager was like, Oh my gosh. That's interesting.
What the heck?
I don't know. Oh. Well, we're still recording right now, but it just slid to the side. So you guys, something happened weird on our...
We all got to witness that. So we're recording for our YouTube, and
there we are.
Just went
it was definitely something.
Okay. What was it?
Sheona, who was it?
What was it? Who was it? Was it a who?
Who was it?
A who? A what?
It happens often here, actually. Yep. We get a lot of electrical
movement.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which
a lot of energy.
Oh yeah. All the time.
All the time.
Like, okay, cool.
That's so funny.
Get out of my field. I'm trying to work.
Yeah, like that was. They just wanted to be part of it.
Oh,
like a distraction. They're like, I'm here.
Well, I keep thinking about the circle last night.
And I want to hear about it.
Yeah, please.
Tell me something, Tiff.
Well, what?
No holds barred either. Just because I'm here
like,
doesn't
hold
mean
on, I have to say this right now. Tiffany's like, I'm trying to fucking tell y'all. And you both are
shut up and let me talk.
She's like, shut up. She's like, I'm just about to talk about it. Oh.
Well,
that's awesome.
The one thing I loved the most was how much we laughed.
Oh yeah.
The shenanigans.
Yeah.
Because it was not as much as like being grounded and like getting into deep meditation. No, it wasn't about that. Mm-hmm. It was very simple. Very simple. It had a card pull with 12 cards, and every single one of them had its own intention.
Got one?
Everybody
did their
theirs.
Own. What? Everyone was doing their own card spread, which was so beautiful.
Sheona.
And then I brought cards if someone didn't have any or wanted or was drawn to them, like they could play with one of my decks instead.
So
it was
good girl.
And it was fun because everyone, so it's okay at first, just pull the card and just what comes up for you.
Yeah,
what do you notice?
You would walk around and you'd help us read the cards. Like I brought tarot cards, and they're hard to read if you've never done card reading before. And sometimes I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't fucking get it. Like, Sheona.
Yeah.
And I called you over a couple times to help me, and then the one thing that I thought it was just so honorable of you is like you read it and you're like, okay, this is as far as I can get this, and we had Stevie was there, and Kirsty was there, Kirsty, and their energy's awesome in the room because that's really where a lot of the laughs came from.
Oh yeah.
Stevie's hilarious, hey?
She is hilarious.
She is.
Oh my god.
And especially if you can get her when she's not teaching.
Yeah.
She's a riot.
She's funny.
When she's just more of a...
she's just being present and goofing around with everybody
I do feel something should be left in the circle, but we laughed about things
all kinds of inappropriate things that you would never imagine would be in a circle.
Yeah, but that's needed. That's needed in everyday life. Me. And
yeah. And it was very interesting. I was really curious to see what was going to happen with me holding the energy of a circle.
Yeah,
good point.
Because it was just going to be my energy that held it. So what was going to come up?
Buddy.
And it was, we cursed. And we joked about inappropriate things. And we told funny stories. And
we laughed.
And we laughed. And because I think
we cried twice from laughing.
But those are releases.
Yes.
And it doesn't always have to be so serious.
Oh,
no.
I love that.
No, but with the card that you said, this is as far as I could get. Yeah. You're like, go talk to Stevie. So I took my card, I walked over to Stevie. I'm like, what does this mean?
What does it mean? I want to know.
I brought my book.
It was Temperance.
And
we were looking at learning. Yeah, I think we were
I have to look in my notes. She said a couple words.
It was like temperance, like patience and something along those lines, or not patience?
That's more of the book definition, so that can come in. But what it was showing was something completely different. It was talking more about where she's going, what she's learning, and some of the education that's coming.
I have it written down. I feel like I should get it.
I feel like you should too.
Yeah. Okay. Hold that.
Okay. Does this mean it echoes if I put both?
No.
Oh,
it just means you get like a double amplified energy boost.
This is really me.
Okay. Oh, okay. it was learnings. What can I say yes to? What can I create more of? What patterns? What new patterns?
Yes.
Or what patterns are
Yes.
there?
Right.
So temperance came up, and it was using discernment.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
And I couldn't get that on my own. So
Yeah.
Sheona
awesome.
brought it to a certain level, and then we finished it off
Yeah.
That's so cool.
with Stevie. And the cool thing is that she has her own, like, she knows, like, you know, when you're like, I'm capped out.
Yeah.
This is my partner.
Yeah.
She can finish that off. Like, I love that you were still honoring that.
Oh, of course.
There was
yeah.
no
I mean,
ego
like, 'cause
there.
it's
None.
That's beautiful.
No.
It was beautiful, and being able to hold the space for other people to share what they think,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And like I said, Stevie's just said a couple words, and I'm like, nope, I got
Yeah,
it.
because I don't even think she finished the sentence
No.
with you either, and you're like, okay, thanks, and you're
Yeah,
already
Stevie's like,
walking away.
okay.
She's like,
And then you
okay.
just wrote it
I'm like,
out.
no, I know exactly what it is. So
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
And
I
it
had
is
like
using
little
discernment.
keys, but then it was just like, I don't have the right tones for her to hear this. And I'm like, okay, who does?
That's
Stevie does.
hilarious.
Okay, cool. I need you to go talk to Stevie about this, because I'm like, I know.
I'd like to touch base actually on what I find so incredible about you, and it was a huge,
Yes, please, let's do that.
a huge piece that you brought into my life,
Oh.
and I'm so grateful for, is being able to tap in to ask my body and ask myself. I'm telling you, Sheona, a huge piece of me, I was asking everyone else.
Yeah.
Oh, I have this problem in my life. Let me reach out to Nikki. Let me reach out to Stevie. Let me reach out to this person or my counselor.
Mm-hmm.
I was not tuning in and going within to sit and go, okay, Kristen, this has come up for you.
Mm-hmm.
So ask your fucking self.
Yeah.
Why are you always looking elsewhere for the answer when it lies inside of you?
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted you to just share kind of some of your techniques and tips about asking your body and like what you do even for food or blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. So that's a huge part. And a lot of the spiritual work that we're doing is fantastic and fabulous. But when we don't bring our bodies around, it's going to cause discomfort, disease, and issues. So it is so important to bring your body with you. And
we're stuck with it.
yeah, like,
We're not
sorry,
going anywhere.
you know, like I hate to
Yeah.
be controversial. No, I don't. I love to.
And
Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
we love it too.
Yeah, like, sorry, not sorry. The 5D is not another place somewhere else. You're not going to disappear. Your body doesn't go anywhere.
I love
You
that
don't
you're saying this.
suddenly like, yeah, sorry, sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
None of that is happening. So we need to understand, like, I picked this body. This body has a shit ton of knowledge, and we're ignoring it. So yeah, I try and teach pretty much anyone and everyone I come into contact with muscle testing. And if you don't know what that is, please go and look it up. There's a million videos all over everywhere. For me, I started, like, I like to use a sway technique. So my body will sway back or like forward or backward. And one will be my yes and one's my no. So for me, if I pull forward, it's a yes. If I go back, it's a no. And I start to use this and trust this. I don't start with, should I go buy this house?
No.
No. No. Don't do that to yourself. Please don't do that to yourself. You're
That's a lot
just
of
going to
pressure.
trip. Yeah, you're going to trip yourself up. You're not going to trust it. You don't have that, you know, that's like me just being like, hey, Tiffany, you don't know anything about my financial situation. Should I invest in this stock? Like,
Right.
no.
Right.
There's more in between there, you know, there's the gaining of trust, there's, you know, like that kind of thing. So do that with yourself too. We've been so disconnected from our bodies, especially from an early age. You know, we were taught in school that we have to put our hand up to ask to go pee. Like, are you kidding me?
I know.
This is a bodily function. My body knows it needs to get rid of something, and you're going to sit there
Oh my
and
God, I'm
either
so loving this conversation.
give me permission or tell me no, that I need to ignore the cues of my body.
I don't know that anybody would ever say no to that.
Oh, I've seen it in schools.
It has
for
happened
sure.
to Tiff. It used to happen to me all the time.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. It was a big
I
problem.
just leave.
And I mean, I saw
Especially 'cause I
it, I
have to go
saw
pee
it
all the
more
time.
in high
Yeah.
school
Used to.
because people would go and like just flaunder the
Yeah.
balls.
Yeah.
Speaking
That
of which,
person
I think
was
you
me.
brought this up because I have to go pee. So I'm like, okay, hold it, sitting here. But I'm like, you just timed that perfectly. So keep going.
Okay.
I'm gonna pee.
Kristen's
Okay.
molars are floating.
Yeah, enjoy
I
that.
was like, can I go pee, please?
Yes, you can. You do not need someone else's permission. So yeah, I do a lot of muscle testing. So like I said, for me, and I start with something really simple to learn my yeses and nos. So I'll start with like, is my name Sheona? And my body will pull forward.
Ask the obvious first.
Yeah.
So you can have an idea.
Those things that you really know.
Yeah.
Like your name.
Yeah.
That's like...
You can do that with a pendulum too, guys.
Yeah, you can do it with a pendulum.
Yeah.
Some people use, like, there's some finger methods you can use.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of stuff. So, like, just because I like to use the sway method does not mean it's right for everybody.
Right.
It's just the one that resonated with me.
Yeah. And we even talked about that when you were teaching us our level 2 about, like, just different methods and, like, different... Well... your signature move. So something I did something different than Sheona would do.
Yeah.
And she's like, hey.
I know. I was watching her and I was just like, what? I'm like, what is she doing there? I'm like, what's going on? I need to learn. I'm like, hey, team, can you show me what she's seeing? Like what she's doing there?
Yeah, I'm a little more
And so
hands-on.
they were able to show me and I was like, that's cool. I might need some of that. Sorry, totally got off track. Okay. Anyways, but going back into connecting with your body, it is important to bring it along with you. And yes, I do it. I will start with little things like food or water. So like, okay, so hey body, do you need water right now? And I'm like, yep. Hence why I'm drinking more water, right? Yeah, see, you just got a yep too. And we're all around, and then I can do, another one of those programming things is the meals. Like, oh, we should have breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks. Should we? Should I? Not even a should we. Should I? Is that how my body best operates? Yeah. I've been taught that way. And so I have a natural, like around noon, I get hungry. But I'll be like, okay, so hey, body, do you require nutrition right now? And it's like, oh, no, I was just doing it out of habit. I was like, oh, okay. Do you require anything? No, I'm good. Okay, cool.
And this takes practice.
Yes.
Right? Like
a lot of practice.
Yeah.
And even the habit of asking yourself, because you just go off of like, oh, it's 12.
You just find yourself with your hand in the chips.
Like,
go.
Or it's like, oh, it's 12. Okay, I'm told my whole life that's when my body's going to be hungry. Yeah. And it's like same with like vitamins and that. You can do it the exact same way.
Yeah, I do it with my supplements all the time.
Yeah. And you'll know. Your body just knows.
Yeah.
Well, this is really cool. So I learned this method. I'll just say her name because I know she'll be okay with it. But Stephanie Thomas.
I know Steph. Yeah, I remember Steph.
So Steph is a very intuitive. She should have been at the circle yesterday. Steph, I'm coming for you, girl.
She did ask about it. I think she's going to come to the next.
Okay.
No, sorry, I'm lying. That was someone else. My bad.
Okay.
Anyways, this is obviously something that is coming up. So Stephanie, if you're watching, it's probably required for you to come and join.
But she taught me this years ago with foods and like and also supplements, because supplements are really hard to know because it's a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Huge.
And we don't know it, like we can't always just expect that people are telling the truth and what's in the product.
Oh my god.
Or that we have the knowledge to understand what's on the back of the label.
Or if it's even good for us.
Fillers
I mean, good for us in the sense, okay, even if it is good, but what if it's not what we need?
Yeah.
Like everybody's so different.
Yeah.
So she taught me this beautiful test, and it's like putting the object, the whatever it is that you were going to put in your body, say it was like vitamins, and in the other hand, you're going to press down, if you can see, my middle finger is pressing down on my first finger. If that object is not for your body, you will be able to move it.
Oh.
If it is for your body,
test this out. I love it.
it will be still. Now it's much easier.
Test it on yourself, please.
Okay, but I want to do it since that's if you're by yourself. So we're gonna do this together right now.
Let's show everybody.
Okay. So the other way when you have a partner is same thing. You have the product in your hand. I would rather take it out of the bottle. So maybe just give me the pill.
And we can also do Sheona's way too. Let's show all these things.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so I got it in my hand. So maybe even you, Sheona. Let's do you.
Okay.
Okay, let's put your mic down for me for a sec. She did.
I just got told I can't talk. No, I'm just kidding. Okay.
Okay, hold this with this hand. And you're going to put this arm straight out. Okay. So if this was not good for you.
So just be really strong.
You want to hold
so strong.
tension
like,
in this.
Okay,
try
hold
to resist
tension.
her.
Okay. So if this is right for your body, I shouldn't be able to. It's moving it.
She needs it. Vitamin C, girl.
No, she doesn't.
Oh, it doesn't?
No. I took some this morning, so
Okay.
it's probably
I thought because you could move the arm down.
No, it's when you can't move it, I think that it's for you, right?
You want to be able to resist it, and it's to be strong.
Yes.
You're strong.
Then
Same
you don't
thing
need it.
When
Yeah,
you're
it's the
doing
same-
it with your fingers.
Oh,
I hit that. Same thing with your fingers. You know, like this is you being like in tune with your body, knowing what strength and weakness feels like.
Yeah.
And we do that. Our kids do that. I don't want the mushrooms. I want the eggs. Like whatever it is, they're they're so in tune.
Yeah.
They know what they need and what they don't need.
It's also why they go through spurts, and I did this a lot as a kid. Like suddenly I'd be all about one product for a while, and then I'm like, get it away from me.
Same.
Yes.
And it's just my body being
that's
like,
what you needed.
and we're done.
Oh my gosh, Sheona, that's what
fills.
Yeah, that's what I would do. I'd eat the same thing every day forever, and then my parents would be like, okay, I guess Kristen's done with this one.
Yeah.
On to the next thing. I even did that recently. Like I had so much sushi. Like so I love sushi. Like I love
All right then.
You know you're gonna go back to that sushi.
I am gonna go back because I'm already thinking about it. Why do you think I'm talking about it? Okay, so I love sushi, but I always just get it's vegetables.
Yeah.
With the like a maki with the seaweed on the outside.
Yeah.
And I had it like every day for a long time.
That's hilarious.
Anyways.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
doing that muscle testing is super. I'm not trying to like completely be like, we're done with your story. No.
We are done.
But it is. It's tuning into your body and what it has so much wisdom and so much knowledge, and it's the same thing when you have a pain. Like, don't own it right away either.
Right, because it might not be yours.
It might not be yours.
Okay, elaborate.
So that's a question that changed my life. Is this mine? And it's everything. Like I'll trying to think of a quick example here. So I'll be experiencing a headache, and this is the thing too, is I'll experience it. I don't own it. I'll be like, I have a headache and it's killing me and blah blah blah.
That's
no, my body seems
negativity.
to be my body's experiencing something here. Okay, so there's an ache and it's in my head area. Okay, is this mine? No. Beat it. Return to sender.
I love her snap.
I do. I snap. Like return to sender.
Did you hear my story about my sleepiness?
No, I don't think I did.
Yes. Hold on. You were in the class.
Oh yeah, Stevie's class.
Yeah.
And it was like we were talking about energy that is ours or isn't, and return it to sender. And if you don't, or return it to whoever you know. If you know who it is, then send it back to them. And if you don't know, just say return to sender.
Yeah.
And I had been suffering with being really tired. I'd get tired between 1 and 4.
Right.
I would literally hit this wall. And Dave works obviously like his job was very stressful for a long time building when he was building. Like he wasn't quite delegating too much at that time.
Right.
But since this, he's taken a huge shift himself. So we had our class and we did a meditation, and I imagined this tired because it was starting to piss me off. I'm starting to get annoyed.
Yeah,
now. It was frustrating.
Yeah,
it was very frustrating.
It was a big thing.
Yeah. And this went on for years. He's been doing this for about 10 years now. So that's pretty much how far back I can say this probably went.
God. Yeah.
Yeah. So I sent it back. Dave's currently, at that time, was in Kelowna for business.
Right.
And later on that evening, we had a phone call conversation to just debrief about the day. And like, he's like, yeah, man, I was having a meeting with the guys and we're having dinner, and then I don't know what happened. I hit a wall. I was so tired. I'm like, wait a minute. When did this happen? He's like, like guy time, like whatever, hour and a half ago. Well, it was literally the time that I sent it back.
Right.
And from that day moving forward, I have not been tired.
Yeah.
From the
literally gone.
That's amazing.
Amazing. And Dave at that time started feeling the feels. He's like, I told him I left. I'm like, I gave it back to you. He's like, why the fuck do I want it?
Because it's yours to deal with.
Yes, because you're not owning it and it's not back to you. You're not feeling the feels. And he kept going. Anybody would have burnt out in the way that he was working. But he wasn't burning out because I was fucking taking it on.
Because you were burning out.
I was burning out every day.
It's not serving you.
No, it wasn't.
And that, that's when you sent that back. That was huge.
Yeah.
It changed my life.
Change.
Changed my life.
Very rarely do I worry about where it's come from.
It doesn't even matter.
Yeah. A lot of the times it really doesn't.
Yeah,
if I find if it's like the same pain that keeps coming back or the same experience that keeps coming forward, then I'll be like, okay, is there something else I need to know about this? Then I'll start to dig. But if it's just, I've done so much clearing already, then I know it's usually just something bumping into my field. I'm like, beat it out.
I love that. Beat it.
Beat it.
You know,
cut it out.
Cut it out. So many times, even with my clients, I will just ask them questions about things.
Yeah.
And as they start asking themselves the questions, or I'm asking them the questions, all of a sudden the answer appears.
Yeah.
And it's really important, like since you taught me this, to ask those questions, your answers will appear. So the anxiety, where is it coming from? Why is it showing up? It's not usually because of an external situation. It's something building up internally that is like, and it's ready to pop. It's like a hot air balloon, ready to just freaking explode. You have to let it out somewhere. And it's your body's way, whether it's, you can say your team, your higher self, whatever.
Right.
It's like, pay attention to me. Like there's anxiety or this headache, and find out, use your discernment. Is it from a client? Is it from an ex-partner? Or is it from your partner?
Yeah.
And
or
then
linear.
freaking get it out.
Could just be psychic attacks hanging out too. I've got a couple of those, and I'm like,
psychic attacks.
Ouch.
Yeah.
I can usually dismantle those pretty quick now too.
Oh, awesome.
Usually.
So when you, let's go there. When you say like dismantle and like a psychic attack or like the code stuff, maybe you can share with our amazing viewers and listeners what that is.
Sure. So there's all kinds of psychic attacks. They can be as simple as one that I tend to throw out a few times a day is if I'm driving and I'm like, you idiot, how could you not see me, or whatever. Well, I'm psychically attacking that person.
Oh. Damn,
so I'm like, whoops,
Gina.
I need to recall that.
Oh. We do this all the time.
Oh, just think of social media alone.
Hello. Yeah. I love it when I blow your mind. You just get
I'm just like, oh my god.
Reactions. You're like, oh god, I'm horrified, but I'm so excited, but I don't know how to react.
Oh my god.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of like the dance moves I put up and some bitch being like hating on it, or somebody being something nice. It's all energetically going to us.
Yeah. So, and that's why I'm always saying, like, radical responsibility for your field. Understand your energy. Clear out that energy so you get to know your nature and what's going on with you. Make a note.
Clear it out. Clear out social media.
I know. I love it. I want to run a program that's clean up your human.
I think that should be something that like we should do every day. Like before, at the end of the day.
Good idea.
Before you even enter that bedroom.
Another tool.
Or before you fall
I'm doing
asleep.
it constantly during the day.
Yeah.
Anytime I notice something, I'm like, what's that? And it's about being curious about it instead of automatically being like, oh, it's a psychic attack. No. Calm down.
That's just a terminology.
I mean, we're special, but we're not that special.
Yeah.
Like, sorry.
Yeah,
sorry.
I know. It's so true.
But yeah, like why carry that throughout your entire day and wait till the night?
True.
Ugh, get out.
Yeah, and I think that. But to even like recognize it as that, like I find with everything I've learned, there's so much to think about. Yeah. Really, when it comes to you know.
But it does get easier.
Yeah.
Because we as we practice it becomes second nature. I don't even notice when I'm snapping anymore. And people are like, I love that you snap. I'm like, right, I do that.
Oh, right. I forgot.
I mean, like, I do it in conversations with people that aren't into any of this work. And I'm like, whoa, that was a mistake. And they just kind of laugh, right? I'm like, oh, I probably shouldn't have said that, you know? But it just, for me, it just breaks that energy. So whatever it is, whether it's I've projected something out I'll recall it back to myself and be like, that was inappropriate, Sheona.
Right.
Or if it's something coming into my field and I want it out.
Yeah.
Some people will tap their feet too.
Right.
I used to do that a lot as a kid, and so I started wondering, like, I wonder if I was just clearing energy when I was a kid and didn't notice it.
Yeah, because some kids, like, they will do that or stomp their feet. That's powerful.
Well, and when you think of a kid having a temper tantrum, she just wants you to move the... There you go. When you think of a kid having a temper tantrum, they have all this emotion built up, and so they're gonna kick and scream and flail their limbs. They're transmuting the energy, and then eventually they get tired and they're like, "Hey, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm tired."
So, Sheona, what would somebody expect, like, coming into one of your appointments if they're to book with you? Like, is there anything that they could, like, just give them a heads up, or what they need to prepare for, or anything like that?
Wow, that's a really interesting question. What would they need
I
to
tend
prepare
to do
for?
those.
It's just like, it's kind of hard to answer because each session is so different.
So if I'm coming to see you, what would you tell me to prepare for, or to...
So what I'd probably ask you to do is just think of anything that you've had come up. So what's coming up right now? What situations?
A lot.
And that's good. And it's funny because we think of it as a lot, and then quite often it's like two things.
Exactly.
And you're like, but I made them into all of these lovely things.
Look at that
Look at my garden of stuff. Like, okay, sure. So I would ask someone just, what have you been experiencing? Is there a situation in your life that you're struggling with, or that you can't seem to break through? Is there, like, emotional relationships that are causing you turmoil? Quite often, right? Who doesn't have one of those? But that all gives me clues as to where we can start, and then from there, like I said, every session's so different, every person is so different, and for me it's about meeting them where they are in that moment. So although I have all these lovely tools and everything, it doesn't mean that I use all of them in every session. Okay. It's about, what does this person need right now? Okay. What small things can we do that will make those big shifts? Definitely. So, as long as just come in with an open mind, as much as you can, to just be authentically who you are, and don't worry about putting a face on for me. Because we won't get anywhere if you're going to do that.
Yeah, there's no point.
That's powerful.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can see through it anyways, first of all.
Yeah.
You're like, put this wall down.
I know. First of all, I'm just kind of like, really? You wanna? And it's just, I mean, if you wanna spend your session, trying to figure out how to get me around a wall, sure, we can do that. It's your session. We can do whatever you want. Yeah. But if you're looking to actually move forward and heal and release something, then I need you to bring all of you to the table, and not, try and hide or play like, "Ooh, you're psychic. Do you know what number I'm thinking of?"
Right.
That's exhausting.
It is, isn't it?
And
I really wish I could say I'm one of those that could get that, but I'm not going to, because I find it useless. Yeah. It's out of my integrity. And then there's, things that, if they are out of my scope of practice, it's borders as to where I stop. And I'm like, okay, I can't take you any further in this.
Well, when it comes to having abilities, it's not supposed to look the same for everybody. That's not Charlie, is it?
It is. Oh. We've been having a conversation. Okay. So she just said that we might as well share it on the air. Do you want to know?
Sure. Is that right?
She said, tell my mom Roman's taking me home. Oh, okay. And I said, okay. She said, can you tell me what my mom says? She says, okay. Are we good with that, Mama?
Yes, we are. That's great. Thank
you.
So
Tiffany and I put her phone on airplane mode, so I get to be the stand-in Mama.
Yeah.
And I enjoy doing it.
Yeah, we record off of my phone. let's just take a quick break because we're not quite ready to
Right.
end.
I want actually Sheona to pull a quick card if we have time, and then we'll start up the next one because this is going to be one episode. It'll be
oh,
perfect.
I see.
Woohoo! I get more than one episode.
Woohoo!
I'm a freaking bloody unicorn. Aren't
So pick one. You've got minutes to get
Not
it in.
even.
I've got minutes?
Seconds.
What?
Seconds.
Somebody hold my mic.
This is perfect.
I don't even know if I can get into these boxes fast enough. Okay.
Oh, you can.
Okay. I'm in.
Because it's meant to be.
Okay, so what are we, just a general for your viewers and listeners?
Absolutely,
or what are we,
right
okay.
now. We'll get into us shortly.
Okay, so communication and co-creation.
Woo!
Woohoo!
Okay.
Fun. Save it.
That was fast.